Good morning and welcome back to our fourth day of COVID lessons. And I have to tell you that I was so impressed by you guys. I received 258 questions from all of our students. That's a lot. Thank you guys so much for participating. So just so you know that a lot of you guys had asked some duplicate questions, okay? So if you don't hear your specific question asked, just know that it's because somebody else asked it. Okay. So I still have a lot of questions to answer. So we're going to get started right away. I broke it up into little topics. And the first thing that we want to start off with is COVID itself. Where did it come from? How was it named? How did it come to America? So these are all the questions that I'm going to answer. So the coronavirus disease, 2019, another name for it is COVID-19. They took the CO from corona, okay, and the VI from virus and the D from disease, and that's how they got COVID, COVID. 19 is because that was the year that it came about, was 2019. So that's how we got COVID-19 or the coronavirus. It was the first case was in Wuhan, China, in 2019, December of 2019. And then our first case here in the United States was on January 2nd, 2020, and that was up in Washington State, out on the West Coast. So people ask, well, how did it come here to America if it happened in China? Because some people who were out there either for business, were out there vacationing, caught the virus there and traveled back to New Jersey, or sorry, tracked back to America. So they brought the virus back with them. And people don't realize that they're contagious beforehand. So they're around other people, and that's how it spreads. Okay, so you're contagious for 3 days before you start to feel any symptoms or have any symptoms. So people don't realize that you're by somebody who's contagious, and that you can then get it at that time. So our first case here in America was in Washington State, January 2nd. What is different about this virus from other viruses? It's a contagious respiratory illness that's caused by different viruses. Okay, so it's not similar. It's similar to the sense of a flu, that a flu is a virus, right? But it's made from different viruses within your body. Okay, so there's the flu virus, there's the coronavirus, there's the Ebola, there's different viruses, but this one attacks your respiratory system, to your lungs. That's what makes it to be so much more scarier, not scarier, but much more stronger. It's a stronger virus than some of the other ones because of where it attacks the body. Okay. So masks, that's our next question, is why do we have to wear masks every time that we're taking a walk? Because it helps prevent the spread of the virus. When we're talking, when a person is talking, when they're shouting, when they're singing, they're letting out little droplets from their mouth, okay? And when they sneeze, when they cough, these little droplets is what is spreading the virus if you have it. So the mask is to make sure that you're not letting those little droplets out, like your saliva, your spit, okay? So the mask is holding back those little droplets. Okay, from my end, if I was to have it, so the mask is like a barrier that it won't come out, but then it's protecting you on the other side, so you're not breathing in those little tiny droplets. Okay, they're not getting into your mouth, they're not getting into your nose, those types of things. Okay, so the mask is for two purposes. One, to not let those droplets out. Okay, and the second, so you're not breathing them in. So that's why it's important. So it's protecting you. Okay. When can we stop wearing masks? right now, we don't know. We're on an upswing, or what they call an uptick of numbers, meaning our numbers are starting to increase. Flu season starting. We're doing more inside things now. So I don't know when we'll stop. Eventually, hopefully we will stop wearing a mask. But for right now, we need to do it for our protection and for other people's protection. Um, how do you keep 6 feet apart? So the 6 feet apart came from is that it's like the measurement of what they say how far. If you were like to spit something out, um, it's how far your droplets come from your mouth, okay, and where they would land, or how far the virus would spread, okay, coming from you. So they say that staying 6 feet apart is that your saliva or your droplets will not go further than 6 feet. So that's why they're saying that we need to be 6 feet apart from one another. Um, Great question is, why do we wear a mask when we're talking to people, but not when we're eating? A lot of times when people are eating, they don't always necessarily are talking. Your mouth is, your mouth is chewing and eating your food. People do have conversation, obviously, during dinner or during lunch. But again, too, how do you eat with a mask on? So I know it sounds like it's like kind of saying like it's the opposite, but you can take it off to eat, but you can't take it off if you're sitting close to one another. And that's why it's good to still be, if you can, eating outside, or not being in large groups with people that you really don't know, okay? You don't know if they've been exposed. So it's making sure that you stay within your family, okay? What day did the governor require everyone to wear a mask? It was the week of April 13th. That was the week that the governor, Murphy, had said that we need to all start wearing our masks. Why do we have to wear masks if they can give you lung diseases or other problems? And that's something that a lot of people had talked about, is that, would we have any type of side effects from wearing the mask? Right now, we don't know if it would. We don't know. There's people that's, because they were wearing these surgical, heavy duty masks that you really wouldn't need to wear every single day. Have someone had a little bit of a difficulty, that was just quick. They just had, maybe they passed out because they weren't able to breathe. But again, it's because they had these heavy duty masks on, not a normal everyday mask that we wear. Okay. We talked about how to masks keep us safe during coronavirus. We talked about that. We talked about, will we have to wear a mask when this ends? Hoping not. We're hoping that once they find a vaccine, or once they find a drug that will cure it, we can go back to our normal lives. That is our hope, and that is our goal. Symptoms. What are some of the symptoms and signs for coronavirus? Fever, chills, cough, shortness of breath, tired, muscle aches, soreness, nausea, vomiting, loss of taste and smell. What will the coronavirus do if I get a fever from it? Just like you would get a fever from any other time. You take your Tylenol, you rest, and your fever should go away. For kids, to receive this or to get coronavirus, not a lot of times is it anything that's very serious or where you have symptoms that last for a long period of time. There's people that I know who that kids have had it and they've had just a few little symptoms, usually a fever for a day or two, and that's it. But you still have to stay quarantined or inside for a short amount of time. For the 14 days. Don't people die from COVID? People have died from COVID, absolutely. But it's not that every single person who has COVID is dying. There's more people who are recovering and getting better and getting stronger. than there are people who are dying. Okay, so I don't want anyone to be fearful and think, oh my gosh, if I get it, or if one of my family members gets it, then automatically they're going to die. That's not the case, boys and girls. Okay, I want you to understand that. I don't want you to be scared. Someone asked, is the coronavirus worse than Ebola? And the answer is yes, because of when the contagious part. Ebola is contagious when after you get it, when you're diagnosed with it. Ebola is contagious then, where coronavirus is contagious before, and that's why it makes it to be trickier, because people don't know that they're contagious, and that they're going to, then they're around people and get other people sick. Okay, so they're contagious before, so that's why it's more dangerous with coronavirus, where Ebola is they're contagious when they're diagnosed. Okay, when their symptoms are coming out. Is coronavirus worse than the flu without a vaccine? Yes, it is, again, because of not knowing that someone has it and being around people and how they're able to be contagious. Can two people have coronavirus at once? Yes. Sometimes there's two family members in a home that have it. Sometimes there's two coworkers at the same time that have it. So absolutely, two people can have coronavirus. How do we care for someone who has it? Basically resting, staying inside, being quarantined, and just wearing a mask even when you're inside if you have it. So again, you're not getting anybody else sick. How do they test for coronavirus? Do they numb you, and does it hurt? They use a cotton swab, like you would like clean your ears with, and they put it up your nose, okay? They don't go so far up, but they do swipe the inside of your nose, so it can tickle or make you feel like you have to sneeze. And it's sensitive up there, like your sinuses, so it could hurt a little. I'm not going to say it's not, but in most cases, it doesn't. It tickles more than anything else. And so that's how they test for the coronavirus. Can people get animals sick? There's only one case that we heard of that a dog had it. I haven't heard of anything else about other animals, so that animals can transmit it to adults or to people, or that people can transmit it to animals. If we get the virus, how long do we have to stay home for? You need to stay home for 14 days. Or until all of your symptoms are gone, okay? So if you have more symptoms that last longer than 14 days, then you still need to be home and stay home until you test negative. Does the COVID go around faster than the flu and the cold? Yes, it does. Can you get coronavirus and flu at the same time? I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not sure about that. It's two separate viruses, although they're similar, but it's two separate. So I'm not sure if you can get both. Maybe you could. Again, the tests for them are different. So you would have to test positive for both the coronavirus and the flu. What if you have the flu and they think that it's coronavirus? Again, you have to take a test for it. There's specific tests for each one. And that's how you would know what the difference is. If someone had coronavirus but they don't get the test, how would you ever know? Or how would your family and friends ever know? And basically that is by the symptoms. Some people, are not so symptomatic, meaning they don't have as many symptoms as others, but that's how you would really know is basically if you had symptoms. And that's why you would want to go and get tested. So we are going to stop right here because I could only do 15-minute increments. I do have more topics, so we're going to close this video down. And teachers, I'm going to ask that you start video 2 next. Thank you.